You want reality TV? We've got it for you. The ultimate combat experience starts now. And welcome back for another great night of the ultimate combat experience, and we are going to get tonight's action underway with a no-holds-barred heavyweight fight. And you see already in the ring Paul Pretty in Pink Dorado. He's actually fighting out of the blue, lost in the red corner right now. Let's go down.
Again, I might have to tell you, his spoiler's looking a little large. I don't know how much cardiovascular he has and how well his condition is tonight.
Well, we're about to find out, Alex. My partner here ringside, of course, is Mike Stidham, and Mike, conditioning is a problem sometimes with these big guys.
It can be. There's absolutely nothing pretty about that pretty in pink, is there?
Nope, and he's not in pink either tonight. Salvador Sanchez will be fighting out of the red corner, and he's in the ring. Our referee for tonight is Lonnie Foster, and we are just about to get underway.
Boy, it looked like Salvador was unconscious on his way down. He's just fighting on instinct right here.
And he rolls.
You don't want to give your back up like that. That's a bad move. It doesn't seem like Paul knows how to finish from there, but if he did, he could be putting a chokehold on.
But this is going to be fun to watch, and what a way to start the night. A big kick, and
He came with a left and drilled him, knocked him down. Oh, he is pummeling with
Paul again. Dorado on top, throwing a couple of right hands that didn't really make contact, but all of a sudden Sanchez has rolled him over, and we'll see what he can do from the top side.
Sal's not real skilled on the ground either. He's
himself out of it, but Paul not willing to give up that hold. As a coach, do you tell your guy to get off of his back onto his belly? Where's the better place to be here?
The better place is to have your defenses in front of you. Never give the back of your head, your spine that up, ever.
Boy, and here we go.
Salvador definitely wants to get back up on his feet. He's not really accustomed to fighting on the ground.
All right, and as you said, there's Salvador, more comfortable on his feet, and you see him
going to probably want to get back up on his feet where he's more accustomed. He's a pretty accomplished boxer.
So you think both of these guys would rather be fighting from their feet, or is one more accomplished on the mat?
Paul Dorado claims to have some ground skills. I haven't seen him yet, but
well, boy, you see those knees coming in there. They don't.
I think Sal can handle a lot of it. Looks like somebody's spewing.
Having or standing in that boxing position, throwing a couple of knees and a big right hand. A left that almost made contact there. Seemed to be having a lot of effect, but right now Salvador is throwing some big right and left hands.
And landing them. Boy, those are some good shots.
Something out of there. Ooh, big kick.
It's a pretty good match for some big guys early on.
No kidding, but you know, we were talking a minute ago with Alex about the conditioning of these two. That's a lot of energy expend real quick here.
I'd almost guarantee that's going to become a factor as this fight goes on.
Now with a big, pulling that knee down up into the head. Oh, what a war. Oh, nice uppercut again.
Yeah, and if you're Paul, you want to get off of those ropes, I would think, and get back out into the middle of the ring, wouldn't you?
He claims to have some ground skills. I didn't see him, but I don't think he wants to stand and trade with Salvador at all.
Well, we'll see. Looks like, yeah, this is tough. Let's see. Alex, what do you see from down there? Two big bears are willing to just hug on each other here for a little bit while they catch a breath and size each other up, and Sanchez comes right back with the knees, and Paul Dorado missing with a big right hand.
Oh, he's eating some heavy shots there.
He's standing in the white, but it's all he can do to stand.
He's running away. Blue's running away.
Well, it's probably advice to do so.
Holy moly.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, Paul looks stunned. He doesn't know where he's at. Blue corner, red. Sanchez continuing to throw big right hands, and there is no defense on the feet right now, and he's just about down.
Boy, Lonnie's got to take a close look at this. He's about out on his feet, it looks like.
And they'll make their way back to the proper corners, red and to Paul Dorado. Right now, he's just hoping that the end of this first round comes around before he ends up down on the mat.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Well, I think the saved by the bell, as they say.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, no sooner said than done. There's the bell and blue. Let's see if we can go down Alex Gerke ringside. What did you see down there, Alex?
Looks like we're getting back here. I don't know if Blue's going to be able to handle it. He's sitting down. He might be done for the night.
You got the ringside doctor stepping in, taking a good close look at Paul Dorado, see if he's able to go back and continue this fight.
Well, it looks like they're both going to come out. Lonnie's making sure that they both are aware there's a fight going on here. That is going to do it. So evidently Paul Dorado has decided as we get ready to head on for, no?
Looks like there's been a decision made.
He will not go on, and there it is, the winner out of the red corner, Salvador Sanchez, and he will move on.
That was somewhat of an anticlimactic finish to that, but it was the right call. He wasn't he was taking a lot of punishment toward the end of that round and really didn't answer with much.
Yeah, it's interesting that we show the very beginning of the fight when Paul had one of his few good right hands and seemed to be in control early.
That was his 15 seconds of fame right there, boy.
Just could not hold on to the end of this fight. So again, Salvador Sanchez, finding out of the red corner, is going to be moving on to fight again in the Ultimate.
Hey, do you catch your breath yet?
I'm sicker than a dog, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, he came out with a big shot on you, knocked you down, but you had a little bit of something in you. Came back and took the leather to him.
Oh, I was just sleeping. He had to wake me up, you know what I mean?
He was a little bit tired, looked like he didn't want him to think he had anything in him. Kind of playing a little person tonight, Sal.
Yeah, I underestimated him.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sal, hey, you just make sure you keep banging it out because I'm going to tell you, you got a nice little future in this tournament here tonight, baby.
Thank you.
Hey,
Ultimate Combat Training Center, baby. Oh!
yo, yo.
Combat experience.
Hey, I'm doing good.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you came out and landed a big old shot on Sal, boy, knocked him down. I thought you was going to try to finish him off.
Thought I had more time.
Do you think any of your cardiovascular, any kind of condition had any effect in this?
Yeah.
Are you going to train some more to come back next year?
What? I know I'm good.
Sal.
The night is a kickboxing match scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds, and being led into the red corner by one of our Little Devils girls is Travis J.B. Buxton. Mike, what do we know about Travis?
Travis just recently returned from a mission and has only been back in the gym about a month and a half, so she holds up.
His opponent tonight, just stepping into the ring for the blue corner, is Pete Van Soolen, listed as an independent, but he does fight with one of the gyms here locally, doesn't he?
Actually, he's out of Evolution Fitness. His instructor is Chris Kinney, and Chris always puts good fighters in the ring, so he should be a game fighter.
Rich Layton
Interesting to see how his condition
is back in the ring as our referee. You'll remember him from last week's Ultimate Combat Experience, and he'll make a final check in both corners, and it looks like we are ready to go. We come right out, and, well, Pete Van Soolen very much the aggressor here as he gets Travis up against the ropes.
Yeah, Pete looks like he's in pretty good shape there. It looks like he's probably well advised to press the action against a guy who just got up from a mission.
Yeah, it's tough enough to get back into the regular swing of life things, let alone step into the ring and be expected to have the eye of the tiger, and Travis missing with a big right kick. But again, Pete Van Soolen, the one landing not only the kicks but the punches early on.
He's pretty accurate with that right hand coming over the top. Looks like Travis is carrying his left hand a little bit low, and Pete's exploiting that.
Pete made contact with the big left hand. He also, I think, is seeing something, and that is, and you mentioned this a minute ago, that Travis has a tendency to drop that left hand. And again, Pete Van Soolen goes down, but it was more of a slip than anything else there.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff I attribute to ring rust. Travis hadn't been in the ring for a year and a half, obviously, and hopefully he'll get a flow of things in a minute here.
There's that right hand you saw a minute ago. Pete Van Soolen making contact again on Travis Buxton. And Travis, one of these guys, but nothing could be farther from the truth.
Van Soolen actually looks like he's in pretty good shape, and that's going to have a lot to do with how powerful your techniques are.
There's a couple of kicks to the leg on the part of Travis Buxton, but again, very little effect, and Pete's happy to come back with a big right hand. Travis better be ready with that left hand to keep his guard up. Yep, still hanging in there. Nothing seems to have had much of an effect on him so far.
Travis isn't the most skilled fighter, but he's a tough kid, and he'll give you everything he's got.
Watching these guys in the ring after those heavyweights is a little deceiving because you wouldn't expect much power out of him. But Pete Van Soolen steps back out, so we get back into the center of the ring for some more action.
Not a whole lot of defense from him. He needs to get into the rhythm of the fight just a little more and relax and kind of let his offense go a little bit.
Both of these fighters seem to have sized each other up and are now picking their spots a little more carefully than the flurry that began the fight. But again, Pete Van Soolen moving in, and Travis finds himself up against the ropes momentarily.
Fighter, there's not a lot of head movement or bending to the knees or the waist. They're kind of just taking every shot that lands their way.
That's the end of the first round. Let's go down to Alex Gerke ringside.
I'll tell you what, she got a couple sapphires on her now.
We were expecting Alex to give us a little summary of the first round. He's more interested in Sapphire.
Referring to Sapphire's name.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, the crowd here tonight is absolutely huge. I mean, this place is much more packed than we saw last week, I'll tell you.
No, you know, it's a pretty close bout. Looks like Van Soolen controlled the tempo, press the action. I'd give that round to the blue corner.
Pete Van Soolen's already in the center of the ring, and Rich has to step back a little bit here as we get underway with round number 2. We'll see how this one comes out. And good job of taking those kicks but maintaining his stance.
His basics are pretty strong. He just needs to, I think, get in the gym and get a little of that ring rust out.
Neither one of these fighters seems to be doing much damage to their opponent at this point, but Buxton comes out the aggressor this time.
They come out strong. Hopefully he can maintain that.
You know, last week we were watching some kickboxing where a couple of the fighters were leaving their feet on a regular basis, and you said that'll just wear you down really quick. At least Travis is doing, again, if we go the 3 rounds of this fight, it'll go to a judge's scorecard, so there are still points being scored.
Yeah, and right there, oh, that's...
Well, something's happened. I think the headgear is...
It looked like he called timeout, and there are no timeouts in boxing. Rich should be given a standing 8 count here.
So if a fighter then calls for a timeout, he's going to be charged with a standing 8? Is that what happens normally?
Well, there are no timeouts. If he's stopping as a result of an injury, Rich should have penalized him for that. But if it was an equipment issue, which it didn't look like it was, he did the right thing.
Yeah, not sure exactly what happened there, but we at least got the fight back underway, and Travis steps right back in. I don't know whether there was any pain involved on the part of Pete Van Soolen. He doesn't seem to have been bothered by much. Throws a right hand, but Travis was just kind of bailing out on that one, I think. Things
are getting a little wild here. The punches were straight early on. Now they're kind of looping punches. You can tell a lot of that's fatigue. You have to experience to understand it.
Travis trying to get some room to get a right hand in there, but it just seems like after he makes that kick, he's a little too far to make contact with the right hand to...
And a lot of that's just not really having a lot of good skill.
You know, I say it all the time, unless you've been in the ring for a fight like this, you have no idea what it takes stamina-wise to be able to stand in there and continue to kick and punch.
It's something you can't explain. You're
taking advantage of in the first round when he'd see that left hand go down, he'd get that right hand punch in. He's not getting in as Pete Van Soolen for even scoring points.
He's taking a lot of shots, especially to the body. Be interesting to see how he can withstand this as the fight goes on.
Boy, and you can tell, for those of you that are watching at home, that all of the opportunities that Pete Van Soolen... So, again, we'll ask you, what did you see in that second round, other than the fact that neither of these fighters is really off in here?
Well,
so
it looks like fatigue's starting to wear on him as well. He's just not as quick off the draw.
And that'll be the end of round number 2.
Yep.
And that
round could have went either way. I mean, really, on the judge's scorecard, it could have went either way.
Lord Almighty, we got to thank Golden Trails for sending some fine card gals down here
tonight. As we get ready for the 3rd round, 2 minutes away, so we have to go to the judge's scorecard for a decision on this one. Let's go back down to Alex Kirky ringside.
Lord Almighty.
What a dish. He's enjoying that seat he's got, isn't he?
And I'll tell you what, they know how to walk the ring and show the cards, baby.
Travis Buxton getting some last-minute instructions and a couple of good deep breaths as he gets ready for this 3rd round. His opponent in the blue, Pete Van Soolen, also ready to go. And Rich Layton will give him some final instruction. Both of these fighters, I would think, no, this is all out here. They need to go all out and show these judges who should be the winner. And Travis comes right. Travis and back Pete Van Soolen up, but... Whoa, wait a minute. There's a low blow. It looks like Van Soolen doubled over in pain and out with a couple of kicks in the right hand.
Both guys coming out strong. They know this is a pivotal round for them.
Good left hand by Wave off the fight. That's exactly what's going to happen here.
What an interesting finish. Appeared to be unintentional, but yeah, he got him right square on the groin right there.
Rich is going to come over and give a little warning to Travis. I see some blood on the mat too, and Rich is taking a closer look at Travis's nose.
He's bleeding profusely from the nose right there.
And Travis looks like he's going to... Soolen doubled over there, and in the red corner, they're just trying to control the blood flow. But, yeah, this could be a broken nose, and if we can go down to Alex. He might have a better view of exactly what's going on there. Alex?
Taking a look at his nose, looks like it's a little bit crooked. I think it might be just a little swollen. I don't know, but I'll tell you, a whole lot of blood was coming out of him, boy. I'll tell you.
It looks like he's got a bloody or a broken nose. There's a lot of blood coming out.
Unbelievable.
Mike, that's a little weird too, because I didn't see the contact, to be honest with you.
I think it happened in that 1st or 2nd clash right there in the 3rd round. It certainly wasn't bleeding during the break between the rounds, but it's definitely bleeding now.
So explain how this happens to me. If both fighters are incapacitated almost simultaneously, how do they decide who wins the fight?
Well, it looks like Travis waved it off. I don't think Richard had an opportunity to go to the other corner yet, and Travis just said he was done.
What a brutal fight.
Good call by Richie Layton.
Hey,
it looks like blue corner is going to take this one away.
Both their noses were busted. Looked like blood was coming down. JB can't breathe because he got so much blood coming out of him. I'll tell you what an outstanding match tonight.
It was a good fight.
Thanks.
How long were you training for prior to this bout?
2 days.
2 days is it?
Day and a half.
What do you do for a living?
I work in Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Well, how do you stay in such good shape?
I work out every day.
Man, I'll tell you what, outstanding fight tonight. AJ, you got any questions?
Yeah, how's it like getting kicked in the family my jewel.
It doesn't feel too good. Makes me want to break his nose.
Hey, well, I'm going to tell you what an excellent bout by Pete. Pete, get your head up. Get your head up. And we want to thank Pete, and we look forward to seeing you later on in the tournament.
We're going to see it one more time in slow motion replay, and you'll see the low blow there. But again, Mike, I'm missing where the contact on Travis's nose actually
Travis
occurred.
dropped his head, and it looked like he ran right into Van Soolen's forearm as he did so. It was obviously unintentional both ways, the groin shot and the forearm, but you can see the damage.
Good blows both ways. Rich Layton will call him out. Both these fighters know that they both are lucky to be walking away at this point, but we'll have to make this one official. And as you said, because Travis Buxton waved the fight off first, even if Pete Van Soolen was unable to continue, he is going to be our winner. So Rich Layton makes it official then. Your winner for this second and our first of kickboxing fights tonight out of the blue corner is Pete Van Soolen.
Yeah, it was a good match, a good fight. Both evenly matched fighters, and it just turned out blue corner came out on top this time.
How long were you training me for tonight's battle?
About a month and a half.
Well, I'll tell you what. Hey, JB, you came out with a real vengeance. I'll tell you what, you were really active. Both of you guys were active. You know, what was your strategy coming into the fight?
I just decided you got to give it all or just go home, so I gave it all I had. I just couldn't breathe after that shot, so I had to call it quits.
Was there too much blood up in your nasal passage area?
I wasn't being able to breathe. The blood was coming back in my throat, so I just decided to let it go.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. Hey, JB showed a lot of heart tonight. I'll tell you what. Outstanding, both fighters active. Very good future in fighting for JB here tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, JB.
We want to give away. Is there anybody interested in this?
Hey, what does it feel like to break somebody's nose like that, bro?
Feels great.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Pete, you really came in here in some great shape, I'll tell you what.
Back to no holds barred, and a couple of good ones coming into the ring for you here. Mike, it's Kyle Burgess first up.
Accomplished fighter himself.
Well, you can see the difference in conditioning from our first fight of the night tonight all the way to this one, can't you? Into the blue corner.
Kyle's one of the favorites in this division. He fights out of Walt Bayless's gym. That's one of the top gyms in town, Griffin Range. Yeah, these guys are true athletes, both these. His instructor and enterprise.
Into the red corner, you'll recognize Rich Sosina, and Rich also a very accomplished fighter.
Yeah, both these guys are two of the top fighters in this tournament. He fights out of Rich Layton's Ogden Fighting Alliance.
And it looks like Lonnie Foster will be our referee as he gets ready and checks in both the blue, now the red, and we are ready to go, scheduled for three-minute rounds. Some big punches to the lower region there.
Well, I can hear the shots right here. Unbelievable.
Ultimate Combat experience, and boy, they both come out and throw some big punches.
Burgess lands a big shot right to begin with there.
Boy, he pushed him up against the ropes with that right hand, and now he is
on the mat there again.
Yeah, what a way to start. That'll let you know right off the bat that one of those punches made contact as they came to the center of the ring. On top and throwing, or I guess I should say on the part of Rich Sosina, he's trying to get out of the position that he's in right now.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble. This Burgess is a physical kid, and you don't want to be underneath him. Looks like we got a little blood job of defending it, though.
Is it Burgess, though, that's losing the blood at this point?
No,
I don't see it.
Sosina's face is bleeding profusely. There's a lot of blood coming out.
Sosina, though, doing a good job of finding his way out of it, and
doing a great job trying to put on a front choke there. It looks like Burgess did a great.
They're stood up now in the white corner, the alternate corner, and they are continuing to hug and fight for maybe a little bit of position here, trying to decide each of them what they're going to do when they get off
his nose, it looks like.
Well, it looks like Kyle Burgess has some scratches on his back, too, or something.
I think that's Sosina's blood on his back there. Sosina, if you get around and see the face there, he's bleeding pretty good.
So of wrap-ups, who actually has control of the fight.
It's certainly a chess game, boy. Little incremental victories mean a lot in this situation.
And Sosina gets his head out of that lock by Kyle Burgess, and quickly Kyle Burgess turns him around, but it's Sosina that takes him to the mat.
Yeah, I think Burgess is a little bothered by the blood a little bit. Looked like he was a little tentative there, and Sosina capitalized and took him down.
It's hard to tell when they get into these.
Just bring it back in the middle and restart. And looks like they were going out of the ropes, and Lundy didn't feel comfortable with him there and brought it back to the center.
That is a bloody mess when you see Kyle Burgess down on the ground, and none of it, I don't believe, is his own. And now has an arm free that he can actually throw some punches, and it looks like, yep, Rich Layton is going to get him off of the ropes as somebody was gaining some advantage.
There's Lonnie Foster referee in this one.
Come now. Both fighters trying to get that lock.
Crawling to.
We have just got a bloodbath in here tonight, boy, I'll tell you. There's nothing like no-holds-barred fighting. Oh, he's working at
that leg lock there. Looks like he's close to putting it on. If you can get that knee going back against the joint there, that's what he's looking to do.
Boy, and again, unlike some of the kickboxing fights you're used to watching, the ropes do not stop the fight unless it's an advantage gained one way or the other by one of these fighters. And so Rich Layton will continue to let them fight. He's keeping a very close eye on it and even helping to hold the rope up as they continue. It's the corner, but it's not that he's trying to get out. And now some kidney punches from behind. That's got to hurt after a while, too.
Sosina's concentrating
To round number 1.
Hey, that was a pretty action-packed round, boy. If that's any indication what this fight's going to be like, this is a great fight.
No
Great
kidding. And for both of these guys to stand in there and continue to battle it out is amazing.
You know, it's interesting. When people see the blood like that, they assume the fighter.
Now he's going to use his leg. Kyle Burgess used his leg to get Sosina off of him and see if he can get back and gain some advantage.
Looks like Lanny's going to start him back up in the middle here.
What an outstanding official here working tonight.
Boy, this is ugly as far as the blood is concerned, but it doesn't, again, look like it's affecting either one of these fighters as we come to the
losing.
What?
Really, that was an interesting match.
From Trails, here's Ann.
And boy, what a sexy little thing she is rolling around here
keeping an eye
tonight.
on things for us again down there ringside where the ring goes.
We're back down for the expert commentary by Alex Kirky.
How do I get Alex's job?
I don't know. Keeping an eye on the girls for us here as we. They say there's too much sex and violence on TV. Stay tuned. We've got more of all of it just ahead as the ultimate combat experience continues. Ready for round number 2,
what a
Alex?
treat it is tonight, folks. I'll tell you. This is unbelievable. We love the matches here, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, there is a fight going on. It's Kyle Burgess and Rich Sosina. We get ready for the second of this scheduled 3-round fight. No holds barred usually doesn't go this far into the fight, but boy, these guys are both game, and they are struggling it out.
Boy, that Burgess is strong. You see where he ragdolled Sosina there to the ground?
Took him right back down.
Oh, what a feeling that is. If you have a tough round like that and then you're right back down there, it's kind of...
Matt and Rich has got to be thinking, man, after all that I went through in the first round, here I find myself right back in the same position again, because you're trying your darndest to try and figure how to get out of it, but you've got to defend yourself and continue to throw punches while taking those kidney punches with the left hand of Kyle Burgess.
Oh, he was working a rear kick right into the rectum. Oh,
Boy, that knee'll hurt down there, won't it?
I've never seen that.
That's a really tender spot to be getting kicked in.
This is a tough spot for Rich Sosina or any fighter down below. And Sosina not willing to give up the leg wrap that he's got there on Burgess. And
looks like he's trying to work up the body for an arm lock perhaps, or maybe even to get him to get out. Burgess is a very active fighter. He's continually working that body, and believe me, that takes it out of you.
Boy, punches.
Once again, it's the chess match. You can see Sosina's trying to climb up his body to look for either a triangle choke or an arm lock, and every time he does that, Burgess tries to pass his guard and from underneath.
You're getting rolled all the way back onto the shoulder blades now, and Kyle's struggling one way and the other way to try and get a little different hold, but he's right back in the same position again, and he's happy to continue to throw those kidneys.
Burgess is really smart the way he controls the spacing in this fight here.
They continue to roll around a little bit, both fighting for position in this no-holds-barred match. A lot of times to the untrained.
And Sosina puts him right back in this where they began from.
Well, and you can see that Kyle, every once in a while, will pull his head up to throw a punch, but he's quick to get his head back down. He doesn't want to open himself up to Sosina being able to get a right or a left in there either.
Ground right here. As you can see, Sosina trying to climb up his body, and Burgess trying not to let him do that. Once he gets up too high, he throws the leg off. To the untrained eye, it could be.
Mike, it might look like there isn't a whole lot of fighting going on, but there is constant mind games being played about where you're going to go next with your hold and how you get out of the one you're in.
Very small incremental victories are made when you're down and kind of monotonous, but it's not. It's actually, for the purists, it's a great fight.
Boy, now Kyle has made his way to the side, and he's trading those punches for big knees to the kidney area, and that really has got to take it out of Sosina.
You can see that it has. You can see a complete different posture from Sosina once he started landing those.
He's not arching his back. He's not got any kind of a leg hold. He was able there to start to roll over, but Burgess is quick to get another hold on.
Burgess took the full mount here. Well, actually, he's in half mount, so Sosina did fight him off. He's pretty tough from underneath.
Let's look at both of these guys trying to actually protect himself.
Yeah, an incidental headbutt there, but you want to watch for that, as those are elite.
Fought, and both of these guys get some wind so that they can continue on, and Burgess now gets a little room to throw that punch, Boy, there just isn't much left there for Sosina down there. And both of them, I'm sure, glad to hear that the end of that round comes about. That was hard. Falling back.
I'll tell you what, second round, you can't ask for better action than that.
No, you can't ask for better action than that with a no-holds-bar match. And again, we kind of made reference to it, Mike, in that second round. For people that are watching for the first time, they might be saying, but there isn't a whole lot of fighting going on.
It's actually a great fight for the purists that's watching this fight. They know that, again, we talked about the game of chess. This has been a great matchup.
Both of these fighters, I'm sure, will be coming out for this third and final round, scheduled for 3 minutes. They'll be coming out knowing that those judges are watching closely for somebody to take a real advantage in this fight. And Alex, I'm sure, enjoying the time in between rounds, as he usually does down there ringside.
Come on, that is why you train. Let's go.
I'll tell you, you gotta love trainers talking to their guys.
You can see
Rich
Layton talking to Rich Sosina there in the red corner, and I don't know if he's scolding him for something or trying to convince him to get back.
And then those knees to the rear end there that he was taking while he was in the guard, those will take it out of you, and he took a lot of punishment that round.
I'm thinking more in terms of the kidney punches and then those knees to the kidney area by Kyle Burgess.
It was constant. Burgess kept, just barraging him with those shots. So yeah, I wouldn't want to come back out either.
No, I wouldn't either, knowing that you might get yourself right back in that same position, and something like that. Sosina will probably there and fight his heart out.
He's trying to encourage him. Rich is a good motivator, but it doesn't look like he's having.
That's going to do it.
Yeah.
Red couldn't hang. Blue, like I say, a phenomenally fit athlete over there. You know he's got some serious
Sosina took a lot of punishment, those knees to the body.
More tomorrow than he is even right now.
Undoubtedly. He'll feel that tomorrow and probably through the next week.
Couple of good physical specimens, though, and Rich Layton, the coach over in the corner, it is Lonnie Foster who will give us the winner for this fight. And again, it's Kyle Burgess fighting out of the blue corner, and he pretty much was in control most of those first 2 rounds.
Burgess has made a statement here. He owns this division. He wants this division. He's going to be tough to beat, I tell you what.
He's got a little smile on his face and congratulating. Let's go back down to the ring with that.
AJ said it was a war out there, bro. How you feeling about it, man? Just brutal.
Good. I'm glad it went short. I wanted to end it quick.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks like you have some sort of wrestling background. Am I correct in assuming that?
High school wrestling.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man, the wrestlers in no-holds-barred fighting, to me, always seem to have an advantage in what they're doing here in the ring. AJ, anything else you want to spurt out, babe?
That was an excellent matchup. You guys did a really good job together. You guys have to feel respect for each other. Yeah.
Of course. You have to. Anybody have to respect anybody.
The fighters are.
Well, I'll tell you what, hey, we just want to thank you here right now. I'm going to tell you what, I think you're going to move right deep into the tournament. I'm extremely pleased to watch you tonight.
Barred match, 3 3-minute rounds coming your way, and in the blue corner it's Brandon Melendez.
Another one of our independent fighters. He kind of tagged along with Kyle Burgess and some of the other fighters. He's a street fighter and just wants to get in the ring.
Boy, he's one of those guys that's got a great physique, though, and I would expect to see some tough things from him over the next 6 minutes or so, depending on, well, 9 minutes if we go our 3 3-minute rounds. His opponent tonight in the red corner is Ethan Warren. Alex
I'll tell you what, oh, Paul, taking a look at it.
Another independent fighter, doesn't have quite the physicality of Melendez, but says he's a tough fighter.
This is going to be interesting to see, and one of the things I like about No Holds Barred, and I said this last week, I know, Mike, is that it's fun to see the different disciplines come together in the ring and see who gets advantages one way or the other.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting in these kind of bouts as well. Neither one of them have disciplines. They're just street fighters, and these guys very well could have met on a street corner as well as opposed to in the ring.
Boy, and Brandon comes out with a big right hand, and it looks like grappling here.
Spent a lot of energy, too. Let's see how this plays out as the fight goes on.
They have a little bit of an advantage until at least they got onto their feet.
Looks like both these guys are pretty decent on their feet, but once you get into a wrestling situation, neither one of them knows submission here. Melendez should be looking.
Well, I thought for a second there that Warren was going to have control, but they're doing their fair amount of tell. This is one of those situations we talked about in our last bout. Who really is in control, as both seem to have a hold, but Melendez does, it appear.
For a choke, doesn't recognize that it's there.
Yeah, it looks like he could probably put one on right now, and he's just thinking about getting out of that hold that Warren has on him at the moment as they're backed up into the corner.
Oh, this foot off the ring, it'd probably be well advised to move him back to the center here.
Doesn't look like Rich is going to have to do that, though, as Melendez fights his way back out into the center of the ring, and that knee almost came contact with the head.
That did. He had some pretty good knees right there.
Still fighting, though, is Ethan Warren, and he's got a hold on, but again, on the top side is Brandon Melendez.
That'll wear you down being underneath like that. You're bearing the weight of your opponent as well as your own. It'll take it out of you.
Boy, I would have to think that one good knee fist.
One of the things there, Rich actually, you saw him caution him about it. A standing fighter cannot strike a down fighter. It's illegal. So it's one reason why you weren't seeing that.
Well, in our last fight, you saw Kyle Burgess throwing a lot of kidney punches to the side of Rich Sosina like that to the bridge of the nose at end of fight in a big hurry.
And also, yeah, I don't think you want to be putting your head down there quite so much afterward.
Again, it looks like Brandon Melendez has lots of opportunities with both hands free to do some damage, but he's not, well, no sooner do I speak than he starts throwing a couple of punches. Somebody's yelling at him to start throwing some
shots. Warren's losing his grip on the leg there just as a result of those body shots there.
Boy, and Melendez doesn't seem to have that good of a hold on Ethan Warren, but Ethan Warren not making a whole lot of moves to get out of that.
Again, neither one of them really astute in grappling because both of them left themselves in positions a skilled fighter wouldn't.
So Melendez breaks, and they're both on their... And now Melendez doing the same thing. He's finally figured out that while he's there on the top, he might as well make good use of those hands, and so he's doing just that.
You can see softening him up with those bodies.
Right after another, and now Melendez following it up with his hands and another big right knee to the chest, almost to the head. Warren unable now, well, he's down. I was going to say unable to protect himself. Rich Layton rightfully steps in and waves this one off.
Yeah, he does the right thing there. Warren was taking a lot.
Again, and they will reset and get ready here as we continue on to the first round of this no-holds-barred match. Both of them looking for opportunities, and a right hand that sends Warren back a couple of steps and even staggered him there.
It's like Warren's arms are like rubber bands after holding on to Melendez's legs for so long. He's really taking some heavy knees right there.
Yeah, those knees are coming in one. We always talk about the safety of these fighters being most important to all of us involved with the Ultimate Combat experience, and Rich wanted to get in there and make sure that Warren was not hurt.
Rich's questions, he just looks like he's pretty battered there. The blood's coming out of his nose pretty good, and a punishment there.
Man, there was just no defense on the part of Ethan Warren, and this one's going to end with some red on the mat as well.
Ethan's down. It looked like they need something for him.
Couple of one of our great participating champs here tonight.
See if he's all right. I don't know. They got him both up in there holding his head up.
We'll see it again, and Melendez throws a couple of big rights, but watch the knees come in here after he throws that right hand. I believe he gets a knee in here if this is the shot I was thinking about, but he's still throwing some punches. Here it comes, right there. Boy, and I told you earlier in the fight, if one of those knees happens to make contact with the bridge of the nose, it can end a fight in a big hurry, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and he finishes him up with a nice uppercut there, and that's all she wrote.
So Melendez coming out, and a good physical specimen, as I said, severely, although he is banged up pretty bad. He seems to be at least conscious of what's going on around him anyway.
Well, sounds like he's answering.
And for the third fight of the night, there's a close-up shot that maybe you didn't want to see so badly.
Yeah, I could have done without that.
We've done with a lot of blood tonight in 3 of our 4 matches.
Boy, I'll tell you what, those guys tending to him over there, I don't know. Hey, let me tell you something. You got to be one bad brother to come walk into this ring because these guys don't mess around. I'm telling you.
Let's hear it.
Good fighter, but found a way to get the knee in there more than several times in the early part of this fight of the first round, and both fighters showing each other appreciation for their efforts. And we should be able to make this one official then as Rich Layton brings them back out into the center of the ring. And boy, Warren barely able to stand up, but there's your winner. Out of the blue corner, it's Brandon Melendez, and I believe we're going to go down for a quick interview in the ring with one or maybe both of our fighters. We turn it over to Alex and AJ.
Well, this middleweight division is stacked full of physical fighters.
First of all, I want to know how long you've been training before tonight's battle.
A week.
A week?
A week.
Doesn't seem like it was much of a match for you. Are you planning to do anything different for your next fight?
Maybe better endurance. I got tired quick.
What kind of style, Brandon? What kind of style you coming out with anyway?
Just grappling mainly, stand-up fighting.
You an ex-wrestler?
High school.
High school wrestler?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, every time, and I said this before earlier in the show, anytime that we have any wrestlers that come into this no-holds-barred fighting, I truly believe that they have an advantage. Probably one of the toughest sports individually a guy can do. Ethan, how you feeling right now?
Good.
Hey, looked like you had a little bit of problem with your cardio. Is that what happened? You just got gassed out a little bit?
Yeah, I got tired quick.
Have you done any training at all?
Not much.
AJ, what you got to ask him tonight?
Is this your first battle ever? Yeah. Are you going to keep on training? Come back next time?
Yes.
Tired?
Well, I'll tell you what. Hey, I give any fighter who comes into this ring a whole lot of credit because it takes somebody with some big kahunas to make sure they can come in here and compete in this element. What about? We have just got a bloodbath in here tonight. The combat experience, the ultimate combat experience that takes you where you don't want to go. We all want to say, good night, baby! Yeah!